rugby.
Great. Yet another episode. Good day, everyone, and welcome to Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza, where we, of course, talk schoolboy rugby, and once again, schoolboy rugby. As you all know, it's Craven week time. It starts on Monday, and once again, we've got a special edition on Sunday. We always set the bar. We always do things different here. We are unique. So we're going to have a Sunday evening edition of the Craven Week. We're going to continue where we left off the last time. Of course, again, to discuss it all with me is the founder of Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza, Mr. Louis van Kopenhagen. How are you today?
Good on you, Steve. It's good to be here. It's good to continue where we left off, just to give the people a holistic view of the Craven Week and why it's so important within schoolboy rugby. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And I really hope this will reach the people that do want to know more about schoolboy rugby and why schoolboy rugby is so important within South Africa.
Absolutely. I mean, so many stars have risen out of the Craven Week. I remember one of the first memories I have of the Craven Week was in the 90s, 91, 90, yeah, 91, 91, 92. And a very special fly half from Western Province made his appearance and he absolutely stole the whole show. And that was, of course, the young Herschel Keeps. And of course, Herschel Keeps became famous for his cricket talent, but he was an incredible fly half and so special that in 92, the All Blacks approached him and asked Herschel Keeps to practice with him. So it shows you there's been so many stars that came out of the Craven Week. Not
Yes,
only for rugby, but also for the other sports
yes,
that's really made a name for themselves. So it's such an integral part of the South African calendars, the Craven Week.
yeah. And also another one that's maybe a little bit more recent, AB de Villiers. He also played Craven Week and eventually opted for cricket. So it just shows you what kind of a platform this gives the boys to participate
Absolutely.
in such a beautiful tournament. And also, as we know, and I think uh, at a later stage, we will also include the girls for the Craven Week. As we know, this is something quite new towards schoolboy or school rugby, not just schoolboy rugby, but the girls as well. They are participating in the Craven Week as well. Although it's not a lot of hype at this stage, but we will definitely cover that in the future.
They had a week this weekend that was past, and on a 16 goals week, which
Yes.
was super incredible. And it's great to see the talent of school rugby now really coming to the fore, not only with the boys, but with the
Yes.
girls. More and more schools are starting to play are starting to play girls rugby also, and
Yes.
including the girls in their calendars. So rugby in South Africa is healthy, not
Yeah.
just for the boys, but it's also now starting to get on the map for the girls. And that for me
Yes.
is very positive.
And as we know, yes, as we know, the game to just before the Springboks and England, the SA women's versus USA women's, and we
Yeah.
know women's team of the USA are extremely good. And the women's South African women's they beat them yesterday. So it
Incredible.
just
It's a
shows
great
you
result.
in what healthy state South African rugby is, whether it's the girls, whether it's the boys, it doesn't matter. Across the board,
Absolutely.
it's on a it's very, very healthy. And um, we really hope that the other nations would be able to get to that level because competitive rugby is what we want to see. We do not like to see walkovers, when you sit
Yeah.
on the edge of your seat. Now, that is the kind of rugby we want to see, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Last time we finished on this one, we actually did this. I'm just quickly going to recap for the people that's
Yes,
missed our
we
last
will just
episode.
recap
So
this one.
basically, if I can quickly go through it and then we
Yes,
can continue to the next one.
yes,
We were looking at what are selectors looking for when they select, and we said it's skill. Obviously, how do you operate in pressure, physicality, how strong you are, how fit you are, the speed. Can you compete in that level? Your rugby IQ, do you have ability to read a game? Do you have ability to basically analyze a game? Some great rugby minds in the past that we know of is, of course, Lars Boertam. And then just more recently, Farida Priya. Joost van der Westhuizen also had an incredible rugby IQ.
yeah,
Character, have you got leadership qualities, your respect, coachable, your attitude? A guy that comes to mind recently now is, of course, the captain of Grey College. We had an interview with him, Alexei.
yes,
He's a guy that's got some incredible qualities. He's been signed to go to the Lions Academy next year. And he's also playing for the Freeside team, I believe, in the Craven week this week.
yes. So, and also he's been selected as the captain of the Cheetah's Craven Week side. So it just shows you what kind of a character he is, and that
Absolutely.
he's able to take what he did for Great College and still will do in the rest of the season through to the Craven Week. So,
Absolutely.
and if he does get selected for the SA schools, I am certain he will be captain.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely sure about that one.
Absolutely. Another thing that's also very important is consistency. You need to be reliable week in and week out on a consistent
Mm,
basis. Can't
mm.
have one game and then 10 terrible games and then another game. You have to be consistent. And then, of course, your potential. It's not just your talent, but also adaptability, teachability. Are you willing to learn? Do you allow constructive criticism to grow?
Yes,
And what impact will you have?
yes.
So let's continue where we left off. Oh, over
Right.
to you.
And now this is a very good question because a lot of people always ask, or when you hear conversations, does school reputation matter? And I would say yes,
Hmm.
whether you are a big school or a small school, because we know some of the traditional big schools, Offies, Grey College, Paul Roos, these guys, we know they are almost like factories for your Craven Week. But your smaller schools, if they do
Yes.
well, these players can be selected. So,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
and also, I think it's not just, okay, the school is number one or number 10 or number five within the country. They, it also, you need to go and backtrack on the history and where they came from. Some
Yeah.
of the schools, very interesting. We had an interview with DF Academy in this week, and
Hmm.
they are considered a small school, but they've produced one or two Springboks many, many years ago. So that
Wow.
all builds up to your reputation, right? So,
Absolutely.
but also we know with reputation, that alone is not going to work. You need talent. You need to work hard. And if the opportunity presents itself, take it with two hands because
Absolutely.
you might not get that opportunity again.
Absolutely. Well, I can say one thing, Louis. I come from a small school. Just to give a bit of a background of myself, I grew up in the Cape, as you all know, and I played for Paul Craven's under 13 A team, and then I went to Swanswijk, where I played for under 15 A team. And that's where my serious rugby career ended because I chose athletics. I
Yes.
started to choose athletics, and then I only played rugby on a social level. And I went to Randburg, where I
Yes.
basically played for the third, fourth, and 15. But because athletics was my primary focus. But anyways, when I was in Swanswijk, Swanswijk was a competitive, but they weren't in the top leagues. They were playing in the lower leagues. But we had a center that was a captain of Swanswijk's first team called Herman Schreider. And he became the first Swanswijk people from Swanswijk High to be selected for the Crane Week. And he
Wow.
later went on to play for Western Province. So it
Right.
shows you that many times talent can be spotted in your smaller schools.
Yes.
Is if you really go and look for them, because he came from Swanswijk and he was the first and only player ever to have come from Swanswijk, to have played for the SA schools, and also later on went on to play for Western Province in the Currie Cup.
Mm.
So talent can be spotted everywhere, and I think that's where we come in, and that's where our passion comes in, is to actually give promotion and coverage to all the schools where possible, and see if we can't also spot some talent in the smaller school, because
Yeah.
the depth and the talent in South Africa is amazing.
Yes. And just to elaborate on that as well, and this is why I put out a team of the week after every weekend's games. And yes, I include the smaller schools as well,
Yeah,
because it's not just the big schools. The smaller schools have talent as well. And many times we go to the smaller schools to go for the day, as most of our viewers know. And you sit and you look at the game, you analyze the game, and you see, oh wow, this player or this one. And I think if they get the recognition that the bigger schools get, who knows? They might up end up
absolutely.
playing for the Springboks.
Look, the
So,
reality is obviously if you play in a big, strong school, your chances to get we have to face the reality. Your chances to get selected or get recognized is much stronger because, as you say, they are playing week in and week out against strong opposition. So obviously, if they stand out there,
mm,
they will be recognized. But
yes,
you also get your star players that might be part of a struggling smaller school, but they tend to shine in every single game. And I would say, give them opportunity, and get them to a trial and see how will they be able to stand out against stronger opposition.
yes.
Because class can be everywhere, and exposure is so essential for your smaller, especially the star standout players that really week in and week out absolutely rises in a team that may be struggling.
Oh, yes.
Give them exposure, give them opportunity, see what they can do
Yeah.
in your biggest sense, and in
And,
your bigger kind of competition. And I think that is where social media nowadays are so essential, because social media gives the opportunity and exposure to go to the smaller schools and also to show the public the talent that's out there in the smaller schools.
yes. And also, um, like your Wilderklaver, your Noordside
Yes.
tournament. I mean, it seems that all the schools are wanting to play in these tournaments because that's where they will get seen. That's where
Yeah,
they will get spotted. Ah, let's see. Okay, this player is very good, but he's not from your traditional big schools, as we always know. So
absolutely.
I think these kind of tournaments are also a very important part leading up to
Yeah.
your Craven Week. So, and it's wonderful to see that everything goes around full circle, which makes sense. It makes you understand why all of this is in place for what comes next.
Oh, yes.
Right. Now, this is something that really gets me excited. So, as we know, the Craven Week is a week-long tournament. There's no winner, no loser. It's purely just to showcase your talent, and the standout players will get selected for your SA schools team and your SA academy team. So, and then from there, they will play your Six Nations schools, England, Wales, France, all of them. Um, and I see with the under the junior box now, they have also a rugby championship. Now, I think this would be very interesting or something to think about to get the SA schools, Argentinian schools, the New Zealand schools, Australian schools, and do a rugby championship for the school side. I think that would be very, very exciting in the future if they would consider something like this.
Yeah, I think the closest competition is obviously the under 20 competition. So
Yes.
yeah, which the SA school teams is of course under 19, so it's very close to it.
Yeah.
Pretty close to the under 19. But yeah, it will be interesting. But I think we also need to remember, as far as I know, we are the only country that's got a Craven week, or kind of a week where your top provinces are competing against one another. I'm not sure if New Zealand is doing it. If viewers, if you've got any your viewers from our international members, from our international countries. If you've got any idea how they tend to select the best place, please send us your comments. We can know. But I'm standing corrected. I think the Crayon Week is very unique in the sense that we have the only kind of week where we absolutely showcase the top provinces playing against one another in a week. I don't think the other countries in the world are doing
No,
something like that.
no.
I think that they basically select the players from trials that they've got, and maybe by
Yes.
recognizing the top talent in the players. I don't think they've got the provincial kind of age group
No.
like we have got.
And remember, we had an interview with Westlake from New Zealand, and
Yeah,
I remember I asked him this particular question, and he said no. They
yeah,
go through the school system, and then only from there,
exactly,
it's a very weird selection process how they do this, but nothing compared to the Craven Week. So
exactly.
I
That's what
think
makes our Craven Week so unique, Louis.
correct. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And I think it's a blueprint for the rest of the world to follow.
Absolutely.
So, um, and then as we know, a lot of the current Springboks, previous Springboks, and Springboks to come, a lot of them come through the Craven Week system because
Oh,
when you
yes.
go look, they play for the school, and then you see, oh, they've been selected for the Craven Week side. So not necessarily maybe for the SA school side, but Craven Week, yes. So because I think also it shows that these guys can play at the highest level. And that is something very important because if you can't play at the highest level, at school level, how more difficult it will be in the future.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah. No, the Craven Week is really a stepping stone, to future rugby, from school level to future rugby.
Mm.
And then, of course, we've got at this stage, I think our structure in South African rugby is amazing.
Mm.
From there on, it's varsity rugby, and we all know the initiative for Franz Apina with the Varsity Cup that is huge.
Yeah.
I would love to see, I've seen that are starting to do initiatives, but I would love to see our club rugby also getting on the standard where that also has got a lot more media exposure. Because a
Yes.
lot of the players tend to get away, to tends to fade away in the club system. So the moment you're not in the structures of SA under 18, the under 20, or the Varsity Cup, you tend to fade away if you're
Mm.
only in the part of the structure or in the club structure. So I would love to see a initiative also coming forward for club rugby to get more exposure. I know there's a tournament, that they also play. In the old days, we used to have the Toyota Club tournament where the top players played over Easter weekend against one
Mm.
another. I
Yes.
know there's now also a new tournament they also have where the top clubs in South Africa compete against one another.
Mm.
But to cut the long story short, I think our structure in general is very healthy. And it starts with the Crane Week. It starts with the SA Schools Initiative. And a
Yes.
lot of the players
Yes.
that has really become world stars comes through the Crane Week
Yes.
and comes through this SA school structure.
Yeah, and as we know, Just a couple of examples. Eben Etzebeth, that's currently playing, Handré Pollard, and Cheslin Colby, just to name a few. That's
Yeah.
come through the Craven Week and SA school system. So, um, yeah, it's something that's very exciting. It's something very unique to South Africa, and it's just we are actually blessed with what we have in this country. It is just absolutely amazing.
Oh, yes. A recent name that I can mention quickly is, of course, Marcus Miller. He played
Yes,
SA Schools last year, and he's now
yes,
part of the Stormers team. And he also played for the SAA team against Zimbabwe.
yeah. And he's currently doing duty with the Junior Springboks in the World Cup in Georgia. So,
Brilliant. Yeah.
um, and just to elaborate also on Marcus Miller, what a phenomenal player. He is one in a generation. Um,
Yeah.
if you
Huge
look at
talent.
him, every game he almost scores a try. That's number one. Number two, he's all over the park, defensive wise, um, attacking wise. He is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's a huge
And
talent.
what also makes him special, although he plays center, he can kick for poles as well. He did that was part of his responsibilities when he was at school level. So that's also something that makes him a little bit, that gives him the edge above the others.
Absolutely. Yeah, we spoke just now about what happens after Craven Week.
Yes,
As I mentioned, so this is basically the structure that the top performers wants to stay in to get recognized. So,
yes.
absolutely, if you can elaborate on that and explain to the viewers what happens after Craven Week.
Yeah, so provincial academies, as we know, the captain of Grey College will go to the Lions Academy after he finishes matric this year. So that's where they get the young talent in, they develop them there, and gradually put them into the franchise teams. Once they get an opportunity to get into the franchise teams, they have the opportunity to be able to get into professional rugby and be selected for the Springboks. So
Yeah.
um, I think it's a very good structure to put them in one by one by one. It's like when we go to school. You start at grade one. We do not start in grade 8 or grade 11. We need to start with baby steps. Then
Oh,
you
yes.
need to crawl. Then you need to walk. Then you can run. And it's the same with these structures. And I think this is something most countries also have after school, but I don't think it is as advanced and as good as South Africans' structure. So
Yeah.
this is really something that we can be proud of as South Africans. And we know there are a few cases where the guys literally finish school and they get drawn up into the Springboks squad at the age of 19, even 20. We know of a few like Noah Spuerta, we know Frans Steyn, and I am sure I I will put my money on that Marcus Miller will start for the Springboks later this year.
Well, we'll see. He's still incredibly young. I am still very skeptical to appoint such a youngster for the Springbok team because I first would love him to grow first within the
Mm,
structure. He's still incredibly young.
yeah,
I will say it will be. I know Nas Botha was 22 when he started playing for the Springboks. He was 19 when he played for
Northern
Northern
Transvaal.
Transvaal in
Mm,
1977. And of course, we had a huge scare in that famous year when Morne du Plessis tackled him, a late tackle, and he was injured. And that for me is the concern.
yeah,
Any kind of huge blow or kind of a tackle can make or break Marcus Miller's career because he's still
Yes.
young, his body is still developing. So
Yeah.
I will personally say give him an opportunity to first play proper Currie Cup rugby, let him go
Mm,
for the structure, proper URC rugby
yes.
before you select him for the Springboks because it's important for him to grow for the structure.
Yes.
And also cut a long story short, this is the structure that all your top players, your youngsters wants to be in.
Yeah.
If
Correct.
you want to be recognized, it's very
Correct.
difficult to get recognized outside the structure. It's not impossible. I know of stories of a lot
Yeah.
of youngsters that didn't play SA schools
Yeah.
that became great. A famous story is John de Villiers. He didn't play for SA schools,
No.
but of course he became a world-class center.
Yeah.
So you can be recognized outside. It's going to take a heck of a lot of hard work and commitment,
Mm,
but you would love, as a youngster, you would love to stay in this structure
yeah.
so that you can get proper
No,
recognition.
definitely. Yes. And now this is a very interesting question. Is the Craven Week still the best rugby pathway? Yes.
Oh,
Short
yes.
answer, yes.
Oh,
Because
yes.
yes, there are a few that, as you've mentioned, that did not play Craven Week for it per se, but still develop further and make the Springbok side. So, but actually, this is a very good stepping stone. It's almost like if you want to make rugby a career, that
Absolutely.
this is like grade R or grade one. This is where the stepping stone starts. Then SA schools, then varsity, then this your under 23s, and then eventually get into the senior side, and then from there being able to be selected for the Springboks. So, um, and we know that rugby has evolved over the years with a lot of rule changes, but yes, player safety, love for the game, competitiveness, it needs to be there. So,
Absolutely.
and rugby will keep on evolving over the years as we grow older as well. And we know that these academies also play a big role because that is where these players get shaped, nurtured, taught what is going to happen next. So I
Absolutely.
think this is still the ultimate showcase of schoolboy rugby anywhere in the whole world.
And what is amazing about Craven Week, Louis, I know we focus on the high school, but Craven Week, what makes it so special and so unique worldwide is that not only is there a Craven Week for the high school, there's also a Craven Week for the primary schools
Yes.
and for the under 13s. So, and what was amazing for me, Suzanne, a huge shout out to Suzanne Fergus from Ireland. She posted a video in this week about a small youngster at the age of 10 with that was starting to train. And 3 years later, in this year, he was selected for the Western Province Training Week.
Wow.
So the Training Week structure is not only for the past 50 years been only for primary exclusive for the high schools. There's also a Craven Week for the primary schools,
Primary
and
schools, correct.
that's what makes our structure so great. So once you are in the structures of the primary school, if you already played Crane Week for the primary schools. You're already
Mm.
part of the structures. You're already on the radar, and it makes your pathway so much easier to get recognized on high school level.
Yes,
So that is what makes our structure so unique. And then we've also got the Grand Como Week. We've also
yes,
got under 16 week for the under 16 schools. So we've got an absolutely incredible system and structure for school level to recognize the right talent.
yeah, no, definitely. And um, I think also something that I saw a few of the under 13 because the under 13 Craven Week was last week.
Yes.
And it brings back good memories because you still see them running around bare feet. And I'm like,
Oh
now
yeah.
this is what I would love to do. Run around bare feet on a rugby
Mm.
field.
Yeah, primary school is barefoot rugby. I remember my primary school days on the 13 days. I loved it. You know, you play barefoot, whether it's raining, doesn't matter. It was barefoot rugby.
Yeah. And actually, like you said, why Craven Week still matters, purely of the history. We know it dates back to 1949. So this is a long tradition that has been built up within the rugby culture within South Africa. As you said, opportunity, it presents itself, recognition, and the future Springboks. So it all comes down to opportunity. And once you get that opportunity, what are you going to make with it? Right?
Mm.
So, and it's just wonderful to see that these boys are so willing to try their utmost because that is the pinnacle of schoolboy rugby. You talk to, we've had a few interviews this year with some of the captains, some of the other players,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you ask them, would you like to play for the Craven Week? And they do not have to think about this answer. They just tell you, yes, it would be a great honor. Now,
Absolutely.
coming saying that it would be an honor. So it just shows you how much this will mean for these boys to be able to say, I played Craven Week. So
Yeah.
very good. And it's something that will always be with us, I think, for as long as the Springboks are alive and well and rugby is alive and well. The Craven Week is going nowhere.
Absolutely. It's a great structure. Yeah. So there's so much to look forward to.
Yes.
Um, of course, as we said, it starts on Monday. The Craven Week. Now, it's if you would like to catch up with the Craven Week and you want to watch the matches, I believe it will be on Super Sport Plus again. Free publicity. Super Sport Plus can thank us later, but it will be available on Super Sport Plus channel 216
Yeah.
on your DSTV channel. No matter what packet you've got in the DSTV channel, it will be available.
Yeah.
You can also follow it on the website,
Mm.
the live matches, and then if you still don't have any access, we will also strive to give you updates, match rates where possible of the Craven
Mm.
Week. Definitely
Yes.
update you on the latest matches and the results, and where possible, I'm committed to also give match rates of some
Mm.
of the leading games where I can. So please
Yes.
stay tuned. We are on it and we are committed to give you the best kind of coverage and updates of the Craven Week
Yes.
as best as possible.
Yes. And we want to encourage the people to join into the conversation. Um, Tell us something that we might have missed. So that's something we want to encourage the people to join in the discussion, have fun, give us your thoughts, why this player, why that player, or what they could have done better. So that's something I want to encourage our viewers to encourage the discussion and make it what it is and have fun around it.
Absolutely. Louis, in 1 minute, exactly 1 to 2 minutes, give us a brief summary of players that you think we need to look out for in the Craven Week this week.
Oh dear, Steve, that list is long. Okay, let's first start with the captain of Grey College. I'm going to put him right at number one. Number two, I think the fly half of Monument, who's playing for the Golden Lions. Keep an
Balloon.
eye out for him. He is absolutely amazing. Then we come to the Blue Bulls. Joshua Gous from Affies, definitely going, and the scrum half of Affies of the Blue Bulls. Those two, I believe, are the pick in the Blue Bulls side. If we go to the Cheetahs, Mgadezi from Grey College as
Mm,
fullback. So
absolutely.
those are the players that I really think will do well this year.
Absolutely. It's going to be exciting. And I think the big question is going to be who's going to be the star players of this year. Of course, we all know Western Province have been playing in the finals now for the past couple of years.
Yeah,
They've been a dominating team, a huge amount of talent. So it's going to be interesting to see what talents are going to be. I'm looking forward to the Craven week.
yeah,
Of course, Namibia and Zimbabwe is also part of it. So a huge shout
yeah.
out to the initiative to
Isn't that
always, on a regular
amazing?
basis, to invite them. It's
Mm.
incredible. So it's going to be awesome. And please stay tuned. We will give you the coverage of that.
Yeah. And also, just to get back to that quickly, from Western Province, one or two players, the scrum half of Paul Roos and Louis Kuhn from Paul Gim. Those two need to be on the lookout as well.
Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We don't want to leave out players. There's so many provinces, and I know there's going to be a huge
We
amount of
can't
players. So
forget them
please
all.
send us your comments and please become part of the interaction. Send us your comments on our Facebook channel and give us your vibes about the players that's really impressing you. We would love
Yes,
to hear from you. Talking
definitely.
about our Facebook group, our community is growing. We are now currently, as we speak, over 2,150 members. We are approaching 2,200 members. It's been incredible. As I said, the journey that we started, when we started with the podcast, we were just over I think we were just over 100 to 200 members. And
Mm,
now we are really at a stunning, within a short space of a year, we are already on 2,200 members,
sure.
not only from South Africa, but all over the world. We've got members from UK. We've got members from Sri Lanka. We had a gentleman that posted us up at Sri Lankan. Yesterday, we had a gentleman from Zimbabwe that posted us results from the Zimbabwean schools. So thank
Mm,
you so much for everyone that's part of our community that is interacting with us. School rugby, not just in South Africa, but globally, is growing, and we are
mm,
excited. So a huge shout out. If you're not part of our community yet, you may be watching this. Someone has maybe shared you this episode, or you're watching it on our YouTube channel. Please join and become part of the Global Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza Maniacs and become part of the vibe, as we are a growing community that is passionate about global rugby.
yeah.
Of course, if you would like to catch up on our previous episodes, you can go on our Facebook channel. You can go to our featured section, all our episodes. This is episode 38. Episode 36 is also the first part of the Craven Week. This is part 2 of our Craven Week update. I will just put it also on. So you can also, if you would like to see what we talked about in our first part of the Craven Week, it's available in episode 36. Of course, all our online, we've also got our online magazine.
Yes.
All the links of our online magazine is available on our YouTube channel. So you can just go, on our Facebook group. You just go to our featured section on our Facebook group and you can check out all the episodes as well as the links of all the previous magazines. On a monthly basis, we bring out a magazine and the links will be available.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we also got a YouTube channel,
Mm,
Global School Rugby Bonanza. You can please subscribe. You can join our YouTube channel, and all our episodes are also on our YouTube channel. And then we've got other links of various other social media platforms under the name Global Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza.
yeah.
We've got a WhatsApp channel. We've got a TikTok channel,
Mm.
as
And Instagram.
well as Instagram. Yeah,
Mm.
Instagram. So we are really available. So you can become part of the Schoolboy Rugby Maniacs on every kind of platform that we are available. We would love to have your support.
Yeah.
Thank you once again to our community, to everyone that is really giving contributions. A huge shout out to our top members. I think of the Janse van Rensburg boys from Belleville that's always watching the YouTube program. Thank you so much. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah.
Then we would also like to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to our staff that works so hard behind the scenes voluntarily. We are a non-profit at this stage. We're still not getting money from it. So everyone that's working for us and with us are doing it for the love and passion of it. Huge shout out to all the way from Ireland to our fellow leader, Elaine Hogan. That's also one of the leaders, not only on Global School Rugby Bonanza, but also one of our leaders on the Facebook group. She promotes schoolboy rugby for us in Ireland. She's from Limerick, and she also are part of our interview panel from time to time to interview our leading coaches and the leading captains all over where we get interviews. So thank you so much to Elaine. Also, a huge shout out to our editor in charge of the magazine, online magazine, Arno Boertes, who you also know as one of our interviewees, is also on our interview panel. Thank you so much to Arno Boertes. And then, of course, our future matches panel. Huge shout out to the madman, Mr. Von, that's always with Louis at the games, helping with the interviews there and helping with the presenting. And then to our cameraman, Mr. Brian Dudley, that's also giving us the great visuals. Without a cameraman, it's impossible for us to go to the future games and to present, to give you the visuals. And then, last but not least, a huge shout out to Louis' beloved wife, Sarah from Copenhagen, that's also working so hard behind the scenes to make sure the magazine is on time and making sure that Louis sticks to the deadlines. Thank you so much to everybody, and thank you so much for supporting us. Without you, it's impossible for us to be able to promote schoolboy rugby on this kind of level. Thank you so once again for watching us. Thank you once again for tuning in. Please stay tuned for our next episode. We will talk about what's going on in the coming week and update you. From our side, until next time, it's goodbye.